Hi everyone, I have something a little different here tonight. I have 3 small collections of high-end vintage and antique laces that are all just small pieces. Everything is less than a yard. So I have 3 little collections here for you. So stay tuned and make sure you catch all 3. There's some really gorgeous stuff here. So the first collection here is called Lavinia, and let me go through and show you everything really up close because a lot of what I'm going to show you is tiny. This is a 15-inch piece of what looks like these bows. There are, oh, I counted how many were on there. 17 bows, I think. But it's very cute. I don't know how old that one is. That is older. Vintage, I would say, but not antique. Then we have this, which is one of my favorite pieces that I will be showing you tonight. It is about, oh, I didn't measure the width on it, did I? 2.5 inches wide, 2 1/4 inches. And it is, the detail on it is just wonderful. As you can see, it is a beading lace. You could put ribbon through there if you wanted. That's what the ends look like there. It does have a little bit of age staining. I think there's some right there. Yep, hoping you can see that. But it is just exquisite, incredibly lightweight, beautifully done. Now, I think this is handmade due to all the variations in size and shape that I found, but I couldn't guarantee it. If it is, it's definitely it's a bobbin lace because it has multiple pieces of thread in it. So again, there's about 12 inches of that. Then we have this here, which is a tiny Valenciennes lace. Very pretty. And this actually, the camera's not doing this justice. It looks it looks much older and more, I don't know, fragile somehow in real life. And there is about 15 inches of that one. Here's another Valenciennes lace, and this one has quite an unusual edge. It's really scalloped. They often have the scallop, but this is it's usually more like, let me show you, like this one with the little picots on the edge, whereas this one is just plain. Okay, but again, beautiful, tiny, very, very detailed. And there's about 18 inches of that. I'm including this, which probably isn't terribly old, but it will, work with vintage products really well. Just a little piece of Venice lace, and there's about 20 inches of that. Then we have another beading lace. This also looks to be Valenciennes, and there you go. And most of these are sort of the creamy color that you would expect with older laces. This one is actually white. The beading lace I just showed you, 22 inches of that. And then this, which is another Valenciennes with what looks like little bows or flowers on it. And there's just 10 inches of that. I'm also including this crochet doily, which is handmade. I am as certain as I can be of that. Hang on, I want to pull out. I can't pull out anymore. As you can see, it's about the size of my palm, and I really like it because of this pattern. I think it's unusual. It's not circular. It is like a trifoil shape. And finally, one more little thing, which is, yeah, I just want to make sure that I was putting these in the right set here. These 2 darling little Venice lace flower clusters, aren't they just gorgeous? So again, this is the first set, and it's Lavinia, and this I'm asking $7.50 for this. These are going to be more just because they are, a lot of these laces are very old. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and pull up my second batch. Okay, my second set I am calling Rosamund, and this is the first piece. It is a gorgeously embroidered lace with the sheer backing, and this does have some age staining to it as well, and I will show you, like right there for instance. It would probably be a great item to use tea staining on. And there is 26 inches of this. Then we have, wait a minute, what did I do with them? Oh shoot, I just mixed the two bundles up together. Okay, I fixed it. We have this here, very, very pretty. This is a beige color. And how much of this is there? about 26 inches of this one too. And I think, I'm trying to remember if this has any flaws. I think that there's a little flaw right there. It's either a stain or it's a stray thread. I honestly can't tell right now. I think other than that, it's pretty good. Oh, I just found one more little stain maybe in here somewhere. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. We have this, as I like to call it, impossibly tiny Valenciennes lace. There's about 14 inches of this, and it is just so gorgeous. You have to sort of see it in relation to other things to realize how tiny it is. It's about ½ inch, I think, and really nice shape. This is possibly a newer piece of Valenciennes, but when I say newer, I mean probably 50s or 60s. I doubt it's newer than that. It's how much of this do I have? I think about 22 inches of this. Okay, then we have this one, which is super soft and a little bit different. It is white, just barely, and I think it might be a chemical lace. I am not sure. That's what it looks like. It does have some flaws in it, I think. I'm looking over it right now. No, I'm not seeing them now. Sorry, I didn't mean to go out of the range there. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Then we have this. Okay, this is a teeny, teeny little piece, but it is just so exquisite, and the detail's amazing, so I had to include this. There's just about 10 inches of this, and I honestly don't know what kind of lace to call this, but I think it's kind of wonderful. And we have this. Oh, this is so beautiful. Now this is the one that has the flaws in it. As you can see, there are holes in the netting background there. There's like this thread is coming loose here, but I still think it is so worth having and would be a beautiful accent on a vintage project. There is about 28 inches of this gorgeous embroidered lace. Oh, here we have the really impossibly tiny lace. Okay, let's pull that in really close so you can see that detail. It really is absolutely stunning. Trying to find my tape measure here. Ah, there we go. Okay, I've got it. So this will give you an idea here. There's my tape measure, and there is the entire width of that lace, basically 1/4 inch wide. Okay, so there's just 10 inches I think of this, and I don't think that would even register a weight on my scale. Gorgeous. And then finally I'm including 2 extra pieces, which is this just sort of little leaf trim there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves. And this, which is so cute. This is a hand crocheted. I think, tatted. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. I did figure it out. And it's sort of a medallion. Really, really cute. Dark beige color. So that was Rosamund, and I am asking $9.50 for that one. And I apologize, this darn video is taking so long. Okay, now this one. This is the most expensive of the three, just barely, but it is. Okay, so 22 inches of Chantilly. This is, I believe, a Chantilly lace. This one right here is absolutely exquisite. Extraordinary detail, incredibly delicate, about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 wide. Definitely quite old, this one. Okay. Then we have this one. Now, again, this one may be newer, as in 50s or 60s. It's not new. I think it's a Valenciennes, but I'm not entirely certain on that. It is white, and it's about 17 inches. And it's gorgeous, too. I just love these. These make me happy. That's a good way to say it. Now we have this, which is definitely a hand-tatted piece. It has all the variations sort of that you would expect in something made by hand, and I have checked and I only see one thread there. So there is about 15 inches of this, and it does have some age staining on it, I believe, although it's not showing up very well in this light. Nothing major, I don't think, nope, but minor age staining. Okay. Then we have this. Oh, this is such a tiny piece. It's only 7 inches, but I think it's absolutely amazing. The incredible detail there. I believe this to be handmade bobbin lace. Definitely very old, and I will show you. There's a second piece that goes with it, which I will show you in a minute. But I just love it. Then I have Shine When You're Tiny Delicate Lace. That must be this one. So, yep, this is a Shine 1 yard of this. Super pretty. Not sure on this one. I don't think, this one has a sheen that I associate it with nylon, so I think it may be like a blended lace, nylon cotton blend, in which case it's probably from like post-war. World War II, okay? Then we have, I'm looking at my notes here to try to see which order to do it in. Oh, and that does have some, oh no, not that one. Where's this piece? Here we go. This is an amazing piece of Valenciennes work, very old. I do believe this to be truly antique. It has obviously been on something. I think it was taken off of like clothing or something. It does have some flaws. It has some tears there, but it's still so beautiful. And it also has sorry about that. It has some staining, but it's again not showing up. It's very minimal, but there is some age staining on that one too. This is darling. When I got this, it was actually still attached to the thread that was used to make it, and unfortunately the thread is so fragile it broke off. But it is hand tatted, multicolored piece of lace there in pink, blue, green, basically, okay, and tiny, as you can see. Almost done. We have this piece of Venice lace right there, and that one is oh, I already showed you a piece of that, I think, didn't I? Maybe not. Well, anyway, there's about 20 inches of this one here, and then this. Oh, this is amazing too. This is the same as that other one. That's why. That's what it was. See how that, well, it's not exactly the same, but they're very similar, and I suspect they were used on the same garment. This does have some age staining to it, but incredibly delicate and beautiful. And finally, I'm hoping you can see that. This is a doily that is the single finest doily I've ever seen in my life. Basically weighs absolutely nothing, and I'm trying to find the piece of lace I had here that was just like it. There. It's the same technique as that. And they came from the same place, so I suspect it was the same person that made both. So this is Dorothea, and I am asking $10 for everything that you just saw there. And as always, if you're interested in any of these, just shoot me a line. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.